so mad at you.
What'd I do?
Because even though you often say we're not friends, I thought you had my back more.
I don't know why you would think that.
If you were remotely my friend, an iota of my friend, you would not have let me eat a quarter of a container of chili at 10 in the morning yesterday. I felt like shit.
Really?
All day. Yes.
I felt A-okay.
I'm sure you did.
I was fine.
I'm sure you did. My mom called me. She goes, "How you feeling?" I was like, "Not great." She goes, "Yeah, when I saw you, I looked at the time and I said,
I don't understand how that's a thing.
it's a thing."
Why does your digestive system
I don't know, but it does.
only need like certain foods at certain times?
I don't know.
Because I'm telling you, this temple over
Yeah,
here,
I'm sure you were fine.
this tank of a thing over here,
I'm sure you were fine.
I'll eat, man, the hottest hot wings at 6 in the morning when I wake up and chase it with some whiskey and be A-okay. Like, I was good. I had that chili. I started playing Luigi's Mansion.
On what?
Switch. I don't really care for it.
Damn.
But that's.
I mean, I haven't played it since I was like 10.
It's Luigi Mansion 3. And it feels like a game that children who are just now getting into video games, it feels like something that they would really, really like. I have the spirit of a children. I'm not just now getting into video games. Find it kind of man. That's just me though. But
Are you excited about the new Switch? We haven't talked about it.
I don't think I'm gonna get it.
Okay. You're
Listen,
good with yours.
when those new systems come out, I'll wait 5 or 6 years after the fact to get them. Right? Like that's just how I roll. I'm not. The new Switch is gonna be what? $400 maybe?
Oh, it's gonna be $800 after the tariffs.
Like, come on, man. I'm not finna spend $800 on a
gonna be
video game
wild.
when I got a perfectly good video game at the house.
Yeah.
What was the song today?
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true.
Where did he go? What
There
happened to
must
him?
be an angel.
How is he no longer around?
James Blunt.
Shout out to, speaking of Blunt, shout out to
He had a
Weedless
second
Wednesday.
good song.
Okay, yeah, I recall him having
Goodbye.
a couple of songs, and then he just vanishes.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
And then what? Oh, what's that face for?
He was a British Army captain in the Kosovo War. But he was involved in the British refusal to engage Russian troops. After leaving the army, he rose to fame with You're Beautiful and Goodbye,
You're
My
on
Lover.
camera.
That's fascinating. I need to know more about what happened in the life of James Blunt. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, January 22nd. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, it is a Memphis Grizzlies game day. The Grizzlies back in action tonight at FedEx Forum, where they will take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Memphis Shelby County School Board really went and fired their superintendent last night, less than a year into her tenure. I watched the meeting. I'll give you my thoughts to put a wrap on this saga that we have been following on this show. We'll do a little oops, we missed it again. The Suns appear to be doing all that they can to try to get Jimmy Butler. LeBron had his first triple-double as a 40-year-old. And we have this year's inductees into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. DeAngelo Williams will join us about 40 minutes in. We'll do some WTF stories, although it's been a big WTF week. We'll also do story time. If you're joining us live, be sure to vote on the story time options of the day. Smash that like button, and we'll get into the day, because you know what we say.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful, it's true.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
At the National Civil Rights Museum, history moves us forward. The question remains, how does history move you?
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Is Hulkamania officially dead?
Yes.
When you have over 17,000 people live and you have Netflix premiere the biggest day in WWE history, and meanwhile they boo him out of the building?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you!
That is your core audience, and they don't want it.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, hey, let's have a little fun now. Hey, I wanna let it all out. Hey, that's what it's all about. Hey, hey, 'cause I deserve this feeling of having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Another very cold, frigid. Cold is not the right word. It is frigid in Memphis. It is 13 degrees as I was on my way into work this morning, and CJ is probably so sick of me coming into the office saying it should be illegal to be this cold. But I think we're almost out of it. And at least we didn't get the snow. At least we didn't get the snow and ice. Have you seen the scenes in New Orleans? No. It's straight ice. Like, somebody posted a video yesterday on Canal Street of people just straight up ice skating, playing hockey. This is Bourbon Street. There's over 6 inches of snow. It never snows in New Orleans. It snowed at the beach in Florida. There is snow everywhere. Look at this glamour city, 30A, with all of the snow coming down. But we just got the cold. The cold here in Memphis, Tennessee.
What do you think the palm trees are saying?
What the hell? This isn't the life I signed up for. I'm not built for this. It does look pretty. It looks so weird. Like it's something that you're not supposed to see, palm trees with snow on it.
No, ever.
Except in like those funky cartoons of like Santa visiting Hawaii, and they put little like snowflakes in the air sometimes, but it's the beach, and so of course there's no snow actually. Well, now I don't know. I say that so emphatically.
Did Lilo and Stitch? Did Lilo and Stitch get a Santa
Christmas episode?
Like a Christmas? I feel like
I can't remember
with some snow falling.
What'd you get into last night? No Grizzlies.
Shout out to Sherman, the Sneak Fest crew. Catch the Sneak Fest show every Tuesday right here, GCM, 2 p.m. Sherm, Jerry, Adam, Lang as the host. Bennett on the production 1s and 2s. Sherm has a thing where he organizes like weekly basketball events. So I went to, we were talking about this was before the show. Pretty sure I went to Briarcrest Church and hooped it up out there. Did the best I could as a old man who can't jump and can't go left or right. I busted my lip. It was some good stuff.
Fantastic. Did you win?
1 and 2.
All right.
1 and 2.
I
listen. I had a bunch of decent assists.
I'm sure.
I'm Nikola Jokic out there. They just don't know how to use me yet. They're all trying to 1-and-1 dribble, go side to side, and cross you and between the legs and get downhill. And my old fat ass is just standing at the top of key. Throw me the ball so I can just turn and throw it to the next person who's open.
How dare you call yourself Nikola Jokic when that man has 4 straight triple doubles, all of which have been achieved by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I think he has more games with triple doubles this season than games without.
I watched, and maybe this is why I'm calling myself Nikola Jokic, because I watched that game last night.
So you're just like channeling the energy.
I'm high off Jokic on this Weedless Wednesday. Shout out.
Well.
So yeah, that they are. If this has been his issue, this has been people's issue with Russell Westbrook most of his career. Hey, you got to stop turning the ball over so much. If he can stop turning the ball over, if he can just have 3 a game, right, which is still high, but still 3 or 4 a game, this Nuggets team with those 2 on it, they're going to be a force in the playoffs. And they're going to probably have a lower seed than somebody in the first round and certainly the first 2 rounds. And they may very well upset them. I like the way this Nuggets team plays.
I did not watch the Nuggets game last night. I did not watch any of the college basketball action last night, although there were 4 unranked men's teams that beat ranked opponents on Tuesday. Missouri got beat, which is one of the bad ones for Memphis because Missouri is one of their top 25 wins at this point. I had plans to catch up on actual television, and then I remembered that it was the actual finale, and finales can go onward. New seasons can pop up, but it was this season's finale of the hottest drama in Memphis that we have followed through and through. The Memphis Shelby County School Board meetings. And it was another packed house with a huge turnout of parents, teachers, community members, politicians coming together to see if the Memphis Shelby County School Board would actually fire Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans after 10 months on the job. And CJ, they did it. Boo! They really did it. They really, really did it. Dr. Fagans, after it happened, it was chaos. We'll go through the whole thing. I watched it. She went and did a media scrum on her way out, and she said that the school board chose chaos over the children. She's always got a bar in her back pocket. She's a great writer. She's a great orator. She once again wore all white. She's worn all white to all of these meetings. Sets the mood. She said the board chose chaos over the children and litigation over leadership, and she will see them in court. And I would assume that will be 100% true. We have been following this story since December as a show. We don't often talk about school board meetings here on this sports and entertainment and BS show every day.
This is the third time we've talked about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when it all goes down, I told Chris we have to watch the meeting last night because we've watched 1, 2, 3 school board meetings. The first was in December when the school board called a surprise meeting before the Christmas holiday with the purpose to try to terminate Fagans. And hundreds of parents and teachers showed up in protest. They did public responses. There was just such a public outcry for her not to be terminated. That meeting ended with it being essentially punted into the new year. There was a meeting last week that was a non-voting meeting, but at that one, there was a proposal to try and create a route forward for Dr. Fagans to keep her job. The board has accused her of misappropriating and lying about different funds, accepting a donation without board approval. It has also turned into accusations of her being difficult to work with. I watched the whole meeting understanding like the likely outcome was that she was going to be fired because it did not appear that the school board members who have been intent on firing her since that first surprise meeting was called, it did not seem as if there had been any movement on that. And watching it play out in the way that it did was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing for the Memphis Shelby County School Board, as it has been, and I couldn't help but think, this is like watching a reality TV show. And that's a disgusting thought to cross your mind while you were watching something as important as the school board meeting, making a decision on a superintendent that has drastic ramifications for the public school system here in the city of Memphis. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is like watching a new episode of Traitors. Like, Traitors is my foray back into reality television. And for those of you who don't know, it's a strategy competition show where there are faithfuls and traitors, and the faithfuls are trying to figure out who the traitors are in the house. It's like a giant game of Mafia. The traitors are trying to confuse the faithfuls and get them to vote out members of their own squad, faithfuls instead of traitors, and whoever is left at the end gets a whole bunch of money. That said, I'm watching the school board meeting thinking, if this is a game of strategy, the school board has no idea how to play a strategy game because they went about this in the entirely wrong way. Like, if your ultimate goal was to fire this superintendent, who you just hired, when this all started less than 9 months ago, now 10 months ago, less than a year on the job, there were ways that they could have gone about that, but instead they so broadly missed their goal because all this did was incite revolt, disappointment, Looney Tunes images and quotes and situations for Memphis, and ultimately, like, truly terrifying consequences for Memphis public schools. And they turned Dr. Fagans into a martyr. At one point, one of the people who got up for public comments called her a messiah. And they turned themselves into a joke in the process. Like, I don't know how you can watch that meeting yesterday and not look at that school board and just think, what the hell are you doing? And she was ultimately voted out 6-3. The meeting portion of her was like 2 hours following a normal school board meeting, which, shout out Laura Testino at the Daily Memphian.
Incredible.
Because she tweeted constantly, and I kept making Chris go to the YouTube stream of the board. He's like, we cannot just watch the basic school board meeting. He has PTSD from his time in the news. He watched enough of these in his life. And I said, no, but Laura Testino said that the vote was going to start at 7. So we went at like 6:50, watched a 10-minute discussion on ACT prep, and then it still looked like it was going to go longer. And she gave an update that it was running a little bit behind schedule. So they didn't really get to it till like 7:45.
Wouldn't it make sense, I guess, and I don't know the particulars about the local government bureaucracy, but wouldn't it make sense for something this big to have its own sort of standalone thing? That was something that was confusing me and has throughout the course of this, where why are you trying to get the I don't want to call it boring, but the boring stuff in there to try and
but the necessary the functionality of the
very
school board?
Very necessary.
Yes,
but people aren't there. People aren't worked up about the SAT thing and other things. Maybe some are, but for the most part, everybody is there tuning in, worked up because you've got this major decision. So to give that moment all the time that it needs so that you can extend times for people on the mic, because that's what I saw. The clips that I was getting was people on the mic being like pulled away. There was that Justin Pearson moment where they're coming out to try and get him. The police officers are trying to get him off of the mic, and it's just like, yo, you could do this on a different day and give everybody enough time, a little bit longer on the microphone to make their case and make their pleas.
I also think that like they could have a shot clock type situation. Not with the people on the mic. Like, anyone who shows up should be given their time to talk. And they give them 1 minute, and then they cut them off, and there's an alarm that sounds, that signifies. And on the broadcast, like, they cut the mics so that you can't hear, if you were watching from home, the like mess that comes of people trying to get their final words in and essentially being threatened to, if you don't stop talking, we're going to take you out of this building. That happened multiple times last night, where there were calls to clear the room of all these people who sat through the boring parts because they wanted to be there.
Very necessary parts.
Very necessary parts. But at one point, the board had an attorney who was reading a report, and I guess the understanding had been that he would read this report and it would be facts only. But Michelle McKissick and Amber Hewitt-Garcia, who have been two voices who I think have really emerged. Like, in a world where we are looking for strong leadership, both of them have taken it upon themselves to be, they are the ones in support of not firing Dr. Fagans, and there was one other vote on that side, but they accused the attorney of editorializing his report. And at one point, Michelle McKissick took that report and threw it in the trash. Like, took it, put it in the trash can to symbolize what it meant. They had only received a copy of that report. Again, this is a circus. Like, this is not how a decision about the superintendent of this school district.
You're worked up.
I am worked up, CJ.
But they only received a copy of this report.
And like less than an hour before the school board meeting started.
Now
and
go
then,
into it.
This is what really heated me up yesterday. Then there was a request for that report to be put in submission where people would be able to access it online and read it for themselves. And the answer was, we'll get it in a few days once we scan it.
Give us time.
Is it 1987? Do we need to go photocopy every piece? Was this not created on a computer? Is this not a document? Did we handwrite it? What are we doing? Well, like, truly, and the biggest risk in all, I don't have kids in this school district. I don't have kids, period. Not pregnant. I don't have any plans to have kids in like the immediate future.
You're not even glowing.
Not even glowing. I'm angry. But the biggest risk that looks like it is en route to become a reality is that the state is going to come in and take over the Memphis Shelby County School District. And Amber Hewitt-Garcia, during the debate portion of last night, said, like, Nashville is using this as an opportunity, not an excuse. And almost immediately after this all wraps, Representative Mark White, who is a representative here in Memphis, has already pledged takeover legislation and has pointed out that there are several pathways for this to happen. And he cited what occurred in Houston with their school district. And if you are unfamiliar, the state came in and took over Houston School District, and what happened was a total authoritative regime where teachers and principals, award-winning teachers and principals, were fired. Libraries were taken out of schools. They fired librarians. They fired custodians. There was a forced implementation of school vouchers, which, if you're unfamiliar of the school voucher system, TLDR, it's usually it is white kids who are given a voucher to go to private schools. Predominantly white public schools evaporate, they go away, and predominantly black public schools get even less funding than they were getting in the first place. They're criminally under-resourced. That's what Houston's dealing with. They're trying to fight back in their own right. But that's the fear of what could happen in Memphis. And if we believe the children are the future, and the children of a city are the future of potential here in Memphis, something like this happening that's where, from the school board perspective, I, to this day, do not know if Dr. Marie Fagans is a great superintendent, a good superintendent, a bad superintendent, a terrible superintendent. Frankly, that does not matter to this argument. What matters is the school board put the Memphis Shelby County School District in a position where they looked incompetent and they looked like a clown show, and now there is an excuse for the state to come in. Because you can't watch that last night and be like, oh, things are fine. Things are good. I'm exhausted.
Vote. I don't know. Like six of those people were, all 9 of them were voted in?
Yes.
Vote the 6 out.
Some of them haven't even finished. Some of them are so recent, they haven't even finished their board training.
Mm-hmm. Hey, vote. Come on, man. Local elections
There was like a
matter.
plea at one point, like you could tell they were trying to negotiate around this table. That's why it reminded me of Traitors, because they all sit at a table every episode, and it was like, I think it was either Garcia or McKissick who was like pleading across the table, like, we'll take care of, like, you're gonna be okay if you do the right thing here. And one board member passed on the vote. Then they came back and she said, yes, no, yes. What?
Come on, man.
All right, that's how I spent my night last night. Tonight I'll spend it watching the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll talk about Grizzlies Hornets after a quick break. We'll also talk about the Jimmy Butler saga continues. You won't believe what he wore in his game last night for the Heat and what the Suns have done in a trade where the Shams Charania tweet news came up, and I said, what is, and then it all made sense. We'll get into that, plus Major League Baseball's Hall of Fame announcement for this year's inductees when we come back.
sitting right next to me, am I right? The one and only Jay Huff. Were you comfortable there in your seat?
I'm great. I've been adjusting it, playing around with the height settings.
What are you exactly? 7'1" or 7 even? Or
I say 7'2" because I wear shoes.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Anticipate each challenge, make a quick response, capitalize on every opportunity, and win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Yeah, that's fine. I deserve it.
You walked in here on Friday afternoon and said
the smoke.
Every day for the last 2 years, you have said, I am John Buckeye.
I said once the playoff matchups were made, you asked what I thought. I said Ohio State's going to beat them by double digits. I said Ohio State's. I walked it all back and went John Vol. I joined General Nealon's Navy.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about them
How about the
Tigers? Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well, with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
Back to Jared for the flush.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support. When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
The Memphis Grizzlies take on the Charlotte Hornets. Wow. I cannot speak today. My goodness. Does that ever worry you? Or does that ever happen to you? Where you try to say words and they come out a little bit jumbled? And I'm like, am I having a stroke?
No, your brain is going faster than your mouth,
All right? Like
you're just worked up.
Thank you, WebMD.
That school district has worked you up in a way that you're in a tizzy. Your brain is just going at 1,000 miles a minute.
It's all right.
You sat over there during the commercial break and didn't even speak to me. Like that's how I know. That's how I know this place had you worked up, right? Like, so you're worked up. It's okay. Just take a deep breath. Slow down. The Memphis Grizzlies take on the Charlotte Hornets tonight at 7 p.m. at Federal Express Forum. There you go.
They sure do. They will be back in action as they take on 3 below 500 teams in a row, starting with the Hornets tonight. Then they will take on the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday. Then they will take on the Utah Jazz on Saturday. It is a particularly hope-inducing homestand where you can maybe pick up some wins on the home court. You've made it through this stretch of playing a good number of consecutive games against contending teams in the Western Conference. Now, granted, even though the Hornets are 11-28 and in 13th in the West, they have won 3 games in a row. LaMelo Ball has been having a all-star buzzy type season in Charlotte. You do not want to allow LaMelo Ball to come in and torch you. Brandon Miller is out for the Hornets right now, which bodes well for the Grizzlies. It looks like Jake LaRavia is doubtful for Memphis, and if that is the case, would assume, we don't assume on the show because it makes a you-know-what out of you and me, but it would provide more minutes for the continued implementation of Gigi Jackson in this rotation. How many minutes would you like to see from Gigi Jackson tonight against the Hornets?
None. None. Let that. He's coming. He played.
That is the most contrarian thing. And you always say contrarian
things. I'm not
things.
contrarian. Like, come on, be logical with this thing, people. He played what, 3 straight games with the hustle, and then he came in this last game with the Grizzlies. So how many games is that in 5 or 6 days? Like, yes, he's got to get in game shape, but you also got to let him have some legs underneath him. You saw those shots Gigi took. Did you not? Did you not see the air balls? Did you not see the short shots?
I thought he moved well. I thought he got to the basketball.
He is moving
and I would like to see more of that.
He is moving well. I would like to see him get a little bit of rest.
He's 20 years old.
Your legs can go out at any moment, right? Like your legs, if you're playing constantly competitively.
He's not on the injury report. I would expect us to see a lot of Gigi Jackson tonight.
Let him get his legs so that the next time you throw him out there, he's got his wind.
Kick things.
He's got his wind. He's got his legs underneath him. And when he takes those shots, because you need him to be a shot maker, when he takes those shots, they aren't coming up short because he has no lower body right now. Like, conditioning is hard work.
Put on 20 extra pounds.
Rehabbing is hard work.
Yes.
That's hard. That is work. You're not going to be able to shoot the ball the same sorts of ways. It's great that he's moving well. I think about it when I played high-level basketball, varsity basketball. You would have days where you'd have to do lower body, and then you go up and do basketball, right? You squat, you deadlift, you do everything in the lower body. You go upstairs, and none of us had any legs. We couldn't shoot the ball because we couldn't make it reach because our legs were jello. I feared that Gigi's legs might be jello right now. I want those to get back better so that the next time I see him, he's doing a bit more better. I can get a better judge of what he is on the offensive side of the court. Now, listen, he played decent enough defense. He was active on the court all over the place as well. It's just that the shooting thing is what I'm concerned with. So I don't need to see Gigi at all. And I think, he got bullied into playing Gigi when he did.
You're wild.
I'm not wild. I'm right. As a most
you play
right
Gigi,
person.
you start tapping into understanding what this rotation actually looks like. It is January 22nd. You have 3 games against below 500 teams. Sounds like a great ramp-up period, if you ask me. And Gigi, in those 3 games playing for the Memphis Hustle, he shot 37% from 3. He made more than 2 threes in each of those games.
That's fine. His leg. What did he do in this game?
It was
in the last game.
It was his first game back.
All right.
At the NBA level on the FedEx Forum court.
Let him get his legs. Can we do that?
How does someone get their legs?
Rest. One game off. Just one. You got the lungs. You ran him. He's good. He's in shape. Now let him get his legs back. Just one. You still have 2 games at home against below 500 teams. You still have 2 if you don't run them tonight. So don't run them tonight. That's all I'm saying. But nobody's going to agree with me. That's all right. I'll be comfortable being the most right person on the show. On these airwaves, on Grind City Media. Hell, I might be the furthest right person in Memphis.
I want to ask you a question from the chat. Can you name the Charlotte Hornets starting 5? Can you name how many of the starting 5 can you name?
Ball.
Okay.
That's it. I'm the wrong person to ask these questions to. No, I can't name your starting five. Why would I
I don't
do
even
that?
like asking that question because then it sounds like what men ask me in bars. Like, oh yeah, you work in sports? Name the Rip City Remix starting five. I'd be like, okay, whatever.
I
I like Mark Williams. Their center right now.
I knew there was a dude named Williams. Wasn't
Mark
sure if he
Williams,
started.
Bridges.
Okay. Miller, I guess. I don't
He's
know.
out.
That's fine.
Josh Green.
He's still in the league?
Yes, and Nick Smith Jr.
Huh. Okay. Good luck to
And
him.
Caleb Martin comes off the bench.
I don't think
And Josh Okogie. And Steph Curry's brother.
Seth is still in the league?
And still in Charlotte.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Good for him.
The Hornets tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. I will say it's been fun to watch the Jaren Jackson Jr. hype start to build. The Athletic had their Sam Vecini, who writes for The Athletic, writes about the NBA for The Athletic, had his mid-season first, second, third team All-NBA, and he had Jaren on his second team All-NBA, but said that he was closer to first than third. These kind of campaign is the operative word. It doesn't happen strictly organically. Like Jaren balling his butt off here in Memphis does not automatically get him into first team All-NBA accolades at the end of the season. There has to be a certain level of campaigning, and so I do think this is a promising start, that the little buzziness is starting to circulate around Jaren. We'll find out the fan voting for the All-Star game tomorrow.
Listen, don't make.
He's not going to be on it.
He's not going to be.
I know.
He's not going to be voted in. He'll be put on.
Correct.
An All-Star, and he'll be an All-NBA player.
Correct.
Injuries notwithstanding, he continues to play at the same level he's played at for half of the season. That is the performance of somebody who is an All-NBA player, one of the 15 best basketball players in the league. Now it's just which team is he going to be on? And I rock with the Athletic. He's closer to first than third, and if somebody slips up on that first team, he might get into the first team. Who's on the first team? Do you know?
Yeah, they put.
I might be able to guess that. Jokic.
Go for it.
Jokic is there.
Yep.
Shea is there.
Yep.
Luka?
Nope.
Okay.
Luka's not going to be eligible
because
for
of
any
the
postgame
because of the
or
injury.
postseason.
Got you. Anthony Davis?
No. They had him on second. with
He's
Jaren.
second. Oh, okay then. Not Jason Tatum.
Yes.
Tatum. Okay. Jaylen Brown?
No.
All right. Give me the last two.
Giannis and Wemby.
Should have got Giannis and Wemby.
Giannis and
all right.
Wemby. Last night, the Miami Heat played. They lost to the Portland Trailblazers. Jimmy Butler wore Phoenix Suns colorway sneakers because nobody trolls better than Jimmy Butler. Also last night, happening concurrently, got a Shams Charania notification that the Phoenix Suns traded away their 2031 first-round pick to get 3 lesser favorable first-round picks from the Utah Jazz over the next 6 years. Meanwhile, the Jazz consolidate their first-round picks that were acquired in the Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell trades. They have 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. What do you need to know from this? Phoenix now has picks to play with right now. It gives them an opportunity to try to utilize those picks. We reportedly, allegedly know that Jimmy Butler wants to go to Phoenix. He just wore shoes that would allude to him wanting to play for the Suns. The Suns reportedly, allegedly want Jimmy Butler. Shams Charania on SportsCenter last night said that this has the potential to be a 3, 4, or even 5-team trade. Why stop at 5? I want to see the first 30-team trade. Everybody brings something to the table to make the world go round.
Like a potluck.
Yeah.
Like a potluck for all the thoughts. The hoopers over there.
Those hoopers
Those
over there.
hoopers over there. Everybody's getting a new hooper over there. Let's go.
Why not? Do you think they hop on a Zoom? A Microsoft Teams?
Well, if
they're all the boxes?
If it's 30 of them, you got to.
That's too much. If it's just 5. I never want more than 10 boxes on a Zoom call. If 2020 taught me anything. Yes, during 2020, there were those crazy, like reunions.
Okay.
We had some work meetings early on where you needed that many people.
30 people.
Not 30.
Okay.
30 is aggressive, excessive. We don't need that many people. We don't know if these picks will be enough, but I do find it fascinating that Matt Ishbia is going full balls to the wall in trying to win now, win this year, win with Kevin Durant, win with Devin Booker. TBD on what this means for Bradley Beal, who would still have to get rid of his no-trade clause. Some of the reporting has been that he could perhaps end up in Milwaukee. I don't know why Milwaukee would want Bradley Beal at this point.
I don't know why he would want Milwaukee.
And I don't exactly.
You're
but we'll see. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, this is going to be good stuff.
I'm now
this
on.
Is good stuff.
What day is the trade deadline?
I'm not sure.
Is it my birthday?
I'll look it up.
Is it the 6th?
Maybe.
I think it might be the 6th. All right. Also in sports news yesterday, Major League Baseball announced its 2025 Hall of Fame class. It includes one of my favorite baseball players of all time.
February 8th.
2 days after my birthday. Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, and rounding out the three, Billy Wagner, who was on his last leg of making it into the Hall of Fame. It was his 10th try. He climbed all the way up from 10% of the vote in year 1 to getting in year 10. Ichiro, 99.7%. He was one vote away from being just the second unanimous selection to the Hall of Fame. We don't know who that voter is, but I hope you're happy. I hope it's probably you, Mr. Contrarian. There is someone out there who just wanted to be contrarian.
Sense. That doesn't make sense to not have. What I say makes sense. That doesn't make sense to not have Ichiro on there when you think about what he did in his playing time for the Mariners specifically and some time with the Yankees, and then you stop and think about what that did for Japanese baseball as a whole, right? Like that doesn't make sense. That wasn't your boy. I'm right. I'm not a contrarian. Stop saying that.
MVP, 10-time All-Star, 2-time batting title winner, 10-time Gold Glove recipient, 10-time Gold Glove recipient, and the favorite player of my Nana Ruth. She loved Ichiro. She's a huge Mariners fan, and all she wanted to do was to sit and play spades and watch Ichiro play baseball. And I will always appreciate Ichiro for those memories. Before we take a quick break, one last thing. LeBron James, the king himself, had a triple-double last night. He's a man. He's 40. This was his first triple-double as a 40-year-old. He is now just the second 40-year-old to record a triple-double in the NBA. Karl Malone is the other. And check out this. This is LeBron getting his 10th rebound of the night, which gave him the triple-double. And he's like, Coach, time out. I'm done. I'm out of here. I've played enough. We are up big. I've got my triple-double, 21, 10, and 13. And now I will sit and I will rest, which is a reminder, you're never too old to stat pad. You are never too old to pad those stats. And he was at the national championship game the night before, watching his Ohio State Buckeyes win the national championship.
I wish he would have went to college. I wish he played football so that Michigan could have whooped up on him also.
Aww.
Whatever.
All right, DeAngelo Williams joins us after a quick break. We never know what we'll get into with DeAngelo. We'll find out coming up next.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Memphis Cat is back with his Heaven on Earth tour.
I tried to be incognito, but thanks to Shannon Sharp's loud mouth, the gig is up.
February 22nd in the FedEx Forum.
In my spare time, I infiltrate the Illuminati, look for their secrets, run back, tell y'all.
Don't miss this year's most talked about comedy icon live. He's back with brand new material, an unmatched wit, and an electrifying performance. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
It's your turn to drive into luxury at Southland Casino Hotel. Join us on Saturdays to win your share of up to $1 million in free play and prizes. And don't miss the chance to take home luxury itself during the grand finale drawings. Drive off in a 2025 Land Rover on February 1st or a 2025 Range Rover on March 1st. 2 vehicles, 2 finales, 1 million ways to enjoy luxury only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Dusty May was at Florida Atlantic last year. Tonight you'll watch him coach at Michigan. So why do I care if a football player decides to leave one place where he's making whatever money to go somewhere where he's making even more? It's what most coaches do every year. So I cannot stand it, and I mean can't stand it when the coaches sit up there and act like these young people are doing something wrong.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
If I was a high school player, or if, let's say I'm the father of a child who's 16 years old, and Mike Vick comes knocking on my kid's door, and Virginia's there also, and so is Virginia Tech, I'm like, yo, you gotta go where Vick is. You gotta go to Norfolk State. Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning into HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. Every Wednesday, we catch up with one of our favorites, DeAngelo Williams. He joins us now. DeAngelo, what's new?
Nothing. I'm just glad Monday is over with, right? Like, I don't think you understand. Like, political season every 4 years is draining, okay? It doesn't matter who get elected. There's going to be friends lost. There's going to be leftover food at the dinner table, and there's always like I am trying my best to understand how people lose their damn mind every 4 years over how somebody else think that has nothing to do with them. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. So me and CJ can be friends for years, but if he found out that I voted for a person that he didn't vote for, we're no longer friends. What the hell that got to do with our friendship? What does that have to do with our friendship?
I mean, you can't vote for somebody who's going to actively do me harm, right? Like, that's what it has to do with it.
No, well, you got to understand, though, like, how things affect you don't necessarily affect me.
But as my friend, shouldn't you care how things affect me, though? Right? Because that's what this boils down to.
Well, if I'm a firm believer that your vote is your vote. Your vote is for you. Your vote is not for your friend. I'm not going to vote for somebody because my friend want me to vote. This is my vote. So I should be like, that's the only thing in this world I feel like you could be selfish for is your vote. Because if you feel like your vote count and your friend feel like theirs don't and they don't go vote, then why should you have to vote for them? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing in the world that you can be selfish for. Like, I can still ride with you, but then vote how I want to vote because it's my vote.
I mean, yeah, you can do that.
You get what I'm
But
saying?
you're at risk of losing
saying,
if that friend has determined that your vote is a symbol of an unsafe outcome for them, then that's that friend's right to be like, nah, that's the boundary that I'm putting up.
If I'm an immigrant right now, right, and let's say I didn't come over here in the most legal of ways, but I've been here 15 years. Came over here legally, never went and got the paperwork, been living my life over here for 15 years, and we're buddy DeAngelo, or I'm not with you, I'm buddy with a neighbor across the street, we laugh, we could have cookouts together, we send cards to one another for like the holiday season, and we hang out for birthday parties and things of that nature, and we're cool. All right, and mind you, I'm not legal, but I've been here for 15 years, and you tell me you voted for Trump, like we can't be cool anymore, because that vote tells me you don't want me over here. Right?
Well,
like,
see, I
that's
look
how
at
that
it
works.
like I've been selling drugs for 15 years.
I understand.
And you get what I'm saying? Like, it's the same principle. Like, if it's illegal and against the law, it's illegal and against the law.
That doesn't make it wrong.
Like, it doesn't make it right either.
Well, we can talk about that if we want to. The difference, laws aren't always good. We've got history that shows us laws aren't always good and laws aren't always right. Some laws need to be changed and some laws do need to be broken. We've got that. So I don't. So you want to talk about the law, and I want to talk about what's right and what's wrong. If somebody's been over here for a long time, they came over here illegally. Fine, find a way to make it legal. Don't just say, all right, here we go. Let's spend all these monies to get that person up out of here, right? And then if you vote for the guy who's saying, hey, let's spend all the money to get these people up out of here, you can't be my friend. We aren't friends at this point, because you're questioning and you're challenging my right to exist as a person. You're questioning and challenging my right to live that American dream, you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You're trying to take away my liberty. You're trying to take away my pursuit of happiness. You're trying to drastically change my life. So if that's how you vote, we can't be cool, right? Like
CJ,
that's how
if we're
it is.
friends, if we're friends and you're illegal, I'm on you all the time, bro. Go on, do your paperwork. Why aren't you doing your paperwork? Do your paperwork. Do your paperwork, because that's what friends do. And if you decide that you don't want to do your paperwork for whatever reason, then however I vote shouldn't affect you, because as a friend, I've been telling you to stop. Just like drunk driving, I tell you, hey man, don't do that. Don't do that. And you finally do it. And then you end up in the newspaper, then I can't stand up for you, because if I stand up for you, then the whole world has now turned on both of us.
Okay, let's take it to. I would love to do a different
examples.
one. I mean, what would you say to a family member? And I'll say a family member, not a friend. It's not someone by choice. It's someone by blood. A family member who identifies as transgender, who was just told that they don't exist anymore. What are you saying to that person? Like, if that person at that point saw your vote as something that led to their evaporation of legal terms, like how they have lived their life, the truth that they feel, the body that they feel that they were born into, and now they can't exist in the context of their truth. Like, what do you say to that person?
Okay, I'm trying to.
Like this is the thing that's popping off. This is why temperatures are hot. This is why bloods are boiling right now at this particular instance in American history, because there's a lot of these types of things being asked, and by these types of things, be it trans, be it immigrants. It is, hey, am I not a person? Right? Like, that's where we are with this. If the American dream is what the American dream is, it's in the Declaration of Independence. If that's what we're saying that this nation stands for, does it stand for everybody, or does it stand for a certain group of people? And if it stands for a certain group of people, which group of people is that? This is stolen land. Everybody here is illegally. We didn't come over here legally, DeAngelo. We were cargo. That's how we came over here, right? So who are the American citizens who get to enjoy those benefits? And this is where everybody's butting heads, and this is why friendships are ending. It's not like we hadn't had disagreements politically in the past. People voted for H.W. Bush. People voted for the other guy. Nation still fine. People voted for Clinton. People voted for the other guy. Nation still finds a way to be all right. You got W. Bush, you got Al Gore. That was contested. Nation still ended up coming together and being fine, because these types of things I don't believe were questioned.
You have a right to exist as a person, assuming you're not harming anybody, assuming you're not harming those around you, and you're not committing like any acts of violence towards them. You're good. You're fine. But right now, it doesn't feel like that, and so there's uncertainty with who that group is, and uncertainty only because that group wants to keep it uncertain until they feel comfortable enough to come out and say, hey, check it out. If you're not a white dude, get out. If you're not a white dude, shut the hell up. If that feels like where things are going right now, DeAngelo. And so that's why people are up in arms right now with their friends, their loved ones, their family members about who they voted for.
Oh, it's been crazy, man. Like, but it's not just with Trump. It's every election year.
Nobody said anything. We don't have to say nobody names, D.
Right,
like
right,
we could just keep it real general. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's crazy because like what you said, Jessica, that's a whole different conversation in itself. Because when you say they don't exist, you mean don't exist out of being either one or the other, or exist just all together.
I mean, legally right now, based on an executive order that was passed insisting that there are two sexes in the United States of America, male and female, and you can take away however you feel about that.
That's
there
what I'm saying.
People in this country who have had gender-affirming care, who are transgender, who live as transgender men and women, who are now at risk. Like, what does that mean? Exactly. What does that mean? It sends this into an unknown territory, and I think that's very scary for a lot of people, and a lot of people within that community.
Yeah.
My point of that was, to go back to your original question, I can understand where that would be a line drawn for people who either are themselves transgender or care about that community and now see the potential, like, dangerous unknown of what comes next. So if someone feels that a community that they love is at sincere risk, it would make sense why that could cause the dissolution of a friendship that used to be like, oh, we just vote differently. I grew up in a predominantly conservative community, have a lot of friends, have regularly in my life been on the opposite side than the majority of my friends. And we live in different places. We don't have to get into the minutia of what those friendships are now. But we don't talk about politics because we're not around each other all the time. But I do have to think regularly, like, if we lived around each other and were forced to be, because this bleeds into everything now, right? Like, there's a reason why this gets brought up right now on the show. And I think it would be harder to ignore, like, our stark differences, us living in, like, really two different minded realities at this point. I am privileged enough to be able to ignore it because there's enough distance between us. But for people who are right next to each other having these conversations every day, it's understandable how it gets hot enough that it leads to, like, sincere breakage of relationships that previously were okay.
Yeah. This is very similar to like every 4 years, it's like that whole vegan versus people that eat meat conversation, or the people or PETA that don't like people wearing furs. It's just it's a powder keg and it's brewing, and you're just like, dude, that is crazy. But then, like, you go through maybe 1 or 2 years and everything fine, and then it started right back over every 4 years. And it's wild to me because there's family members of mine that have gone on social media and denounced some of their friends because of the way that they voted. And I was like, yo, that is crazy. And I'm talking about both sides, Republican and Democrat. And I'm just like, dang, I didn't know you feel that way, because somebody have different opinions, and those opinions don't necessarily affect them like you said, like what you guys are bringing up are very drastic and very kind of to the point. But I'm talking about, like, that has nothing to do with you. People just because of the way that a person thinks it's crazy, because it's the whole, like, musician thing, what a musician does in their off time versus them liking their music it's crazy. Like you should be able to separate the two.
Right, but like as a woman in this country, it's really difficult for me to separate the two when it comes down to my bodily autonomy. Like this is personal for me as well, and we'll just add one more layer into the mix of things. But it's not like my friend likes Creed and my other friend likes Kendrick Lamar, and those are two vastly different genres. Like we're talking about something way more personal that affects a good number of us.
And because, for the sake of this only for the sake of this conversation, right? Because she is my friend, DeAngelo, I have to care about what happens to her. So when she loses her bodily autonomy, when she loses that right, I see that and say, oh no, only for this, I can't stress this enough. Only for the sake of this conversation, oh no, my very, very good friend Jessica, who I see every day and who is a true light to the world and brightens my week every single time I come into this studio, she is feeling only for this. It's not real. You know,
We've established.
This is going to impact her in a really negative way, and I don't like that. So I need to use my vote to counter that, to combat that. And then when I come across somebody else who's like, no, I hear you on that. That doesn't matter. These eggs is out of control, dog. Let's lower the price of these eggs. I was like, okay. Like now, all right, talk to me some more. Let's figure out where you're going. And then once we start, because when we end up going with the conversation, always without fail, we end up going to the conspiracy side of it. And the issue with the conspiracy side is the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence, right? Just because there's no evidence to fully support that conspiracy doesn't mean that you don't believe that it's there. And furthermore, right now, without evidence, that sort of is evidence, right? It's like, well, why isn't this here right now? It's like, they don't want it to be. It's always that they don't want it to be. And then at that point, it's like, okay, we can't get to a common ground here on these sorts of things. So, hey, good luck to you, man. Wish you all the best.
Here's the problem with that, CJ. Everything that you said about Jessica that you know and love, you're like, yeah, I want to cast that vote for Jessica. But then you have a dad or a brother at home that want to cast that vote completely different from you. And now you're in the middle of trying to decide on, do my care for Jessica supersede my care for my brother that I have at home that have been telling me all these things and why I should cast that vote for so-and-so? So then now who do you choose?
You choose the side of right, and this is why families get broken up because of this. There is a right. You don't believe in right and wrong?
Right and wrong differ from person to person.
No. Right is right, 100%. Wrong is wrong.
No.
There may be instances of gray with certain things, but DeAngelo, you can't.
Everything.
There's not gray with everything. My right to exist has no gray in it. That is a thing. My right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness has no gray. I have that. I am that.
It does when it comes at the cost of another person. Is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
It doesn't come at the cost of anybody, and that's the thing. With the things we're talking about, it does not come at the cost of anybody. It doesn't. How does my right to exist as a person come at a cost to anybody out here? Again, if I'm not hurting anybody, if I'm not doing anybody any harm, how does my right to exist come at a cost? That's my question.
Dexter says the same thing. I'm not doing anything bad.
Dexter's murdering people. What are you talking about? He's legit murdering people.
That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like when you say that you're not out here hurting anybody, that's not your intention. That's not your intention at all. I'll give you an example. Myself, I was out doing some things, having some conversation, and after having those conversations, somebody pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, man, like you can't say things like that." And I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about? You can't say things like that." I was like, "Man, you could really say, like, it really comes off as hurtful, and I don't think you should be saying those things." And I'm like, "What?" Like, all I was talking about was I'll give you the synopsis of it because we were talking about alcohol. Some people think that alcohol is a disease. Some people think that alcohol is a choice in terms of being an alcoholic. And after he pulled me to the side and he said what he said, like I said that, it didn't matter enough to me to fight you on this. So I'm not even going to say anything because how I feel obviously doesn't matter because I want the friendship. I don't want to let it go. And he was telling me that I was wrong. And it was just a matter of opinion. So with that being said, it led me to believe that there's gray area in every right or wrong because of how I grew up was completely different from how he grew up. So what I thought was right, how I was taught, what I've been through, all the things that I've seen, all the things that I've gone through, all the things that I experienced, wasn't the same things that he experienced. He saw it through a completely different lens. The only difference was I didn't care as much for the conversation, and he did, so I let him have that.
DeAngelo, I'm like you. I'm glad that Monday's over. But unfortunately, every day is going to be like this for the foreseeable future. We will catch up with you. Some Vance in the chat said, DeAngelo's done something amazing. He's made me want to talk about the Cowboys. And you could never make me want to talk about the Cowboys. Come on. I don't even want to get into that coaching search. Hey, before I let you go, who comes out of championship weekend? Pick your Super Bowl matchup.
I want the Commanders and Kansas City Chiefs. And the reason why I want that to happen is because if the Buffalo Bills go and win it, there's going to be babies and people dying, going through tables on fire. They do some really stupid stuff in Buffalo. So I am so glad they need to get kicked out just for that reason alone. I'm telling y'all, they do that fan base is crazy.
When
so
you
just for the sake of the people.
I'm confused. When you say kicked out, like kicked out of the playoffs or kicked out of the country? Because I'm with you on one of those.
Yeah, I'm talking about kicked out of the playoffs.
Not that one.
Yeah, kicked out of the playoffs. And I want the Commanders to win because for a very long time, there was a coach there, in Ron Rivera. He coached me in Carolina. He went to the Commanders, and he was there for quite some time. And then they end up firing him, and then 2 years later, they're playing in the NFC Championship game. So I'm interested to see if they make it all the way to the Super Bowl, how that affects his coaching style when he was there, because I really feel like he was a good coach. I just didn't think that he was a coach that should have been in the Super Bowl, even when he went with Carolina with Cam Newton. So that was just kind of like a correction for me. So it's just mentally put my mind at ease, like, okay, it just wasn't us. It could have been the coach.
DeAngelo, we'll see how it comes out. We'll catch up with you next week.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, CJ.
What?
Thanks when I disassociated there.
I didn't realize you disassociated.
Ooh, I didn't either. Oh, man. I would love to look at my Aura Ring heart rate stats.
That's what that ring is on your finger. I forget you got one.
I got this. This is the one that tells me how much I sleep every night when I'm stressed.
Why are you stressed? Why are you stressed with DeAngelo?
I'm not stressed with DeAngelo. I'm stressed with the general state of the world, which is a perfect transition.
It was brought on by DeAngelo. Don't let the.
No, but I think these conversations are really important, and I get it. Like I'm sure a lot of people tuned out. I know people feel one way or the other in the chat, whatever it may be. Great, even better. I do think it's important to have them. They're hard to have. I get to the point where I don't want to have them because I'm exhausted and I don't feel like I can always articulate to the best of my ability, but I think it's better to have the conversation messily than to not have the conversation at all. So we will continue to try to do that when we can. But next we'll talk about WTF stories. And it won't be the WTF that has been everything in this world. We'll also do story time. And it looks like, God.
Let's go!
Find out the winner. No, we're gonna find out. It's called a tease. It's called an appetizer.
I never want to tease this. Now you're trying to tease.
When we come back, I gotta read it during the break to make sure it's safe.
What do you mean?
We'll find out.
You don't think I'd send something unsafe, do you?
Ooh.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
A night of comedy with Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? You don't know where your mom is. The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
Sebastian Maniscalco and Jim Gaffigan.
I went ziplining for the last time.
What is wrong with us? Would you pay $200 to feel like you're about to die 6 times?
Live in Memphis, FedEx Forum, Friday, February 21st. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
So these are a pair of Kobe 11 Elite Low. These were part of a collaboration with FC Barcelona.
I've never seen these in person. The detail on these are amazing.
It's Flyknit, like, you know, the front of the shoe is Flyknit. It's got the lunar line, I remember, and the
insole is removable.
Yeah. The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app. Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
This team is doing everything that Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned it could do.
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
This is another JBS production.
Twinkle, twinkle, rockabye. It's story time. Let's let it fly. The JB Show with CJ here to bring you tales that bring you cheer or fear or tears, whatever's here. Now hush you babies, listen up. It's story time. Let's get turned up. Am I the a-hole for exposing my sister for stealing from our grandparents?
We're just not going to explain to the people?
Oh, no, I'll explain to the
All
people.
right,
I took an executive order. I cannot do the Nazi nephew story. I just can't. I can't have this conversation. I've had it too many times off of this show, and it's just not the time to have it on the show right now. So,
respect.
Executive order. Yes, a lesson for everyone.
Everybody.
Protect your damn peace right now where you can.
Don't have to have these conversations all the time and with everybody.
No, and I want to know about this lying sister because I haven't read this one yet. So
How
I'm
do you
gonna
know
find out
this
with
one
you.
is safe?
You're right, I don't. I have no idea. It could be less safe than the other one.
It probably is. Is
We'll
elder
find out.
abuse in this one?
Am I the a-hole for exposing my sister for stealing from our grandparents? So I, 21-year-old female, don't even know where to start. I'm honestly all over the place right now and feel like the worst person ever. But here's what happened. My sister, 22-year-old female, and I have always been close with our grandparents. They're amazing people, so sweet, always taking care of us, and they keep a lot of cash around the house because they're old school like that. Every time we visit, they try to give us money, even when we tell them not to, but that's just who they are. Anyway, for the past couple months, I've noticed something weird. After almost every visit, they'd mention mention how they thought they had more cash in certain spots. Like, oh, I thought there was another $50 here. Or, oh, where did that $20 left in the drawer go? They'd always laugh it off, like they were just being forgetful. But I don't know, something about it stuck with me. Last weekend, my sister and I went over there to visit. This time, I couldn't shake the feeling, so I decided to pay more attention. At one point, my sister said she needed to use the bathroom, but she was gone for a while. I don't even know what came over me, but I went to check and I caught her in their bedroom with their dresser drawer open. I watched her take money and shove it into her purse. I was stunned. I called her out on the spot and she freaked out. She started saying she was just borrowing it and would put it back. I told her that was BS and that this wasn't the first time. I could just tell. She begged me not to say anything and said it wasn't a big deal, but I just couldn't. After we left, I was so torn. I didn't want to destroy our relationship, but I couldn't let this slide. So I told my parents everything. They were shocked and furious, and they ended up telling our grandparents, who were obviously devastated. My sister denied it at first, but eventually when my parents pushed, she admitted she's done it a few times. Now my family is a mess. My parents are so angry at her, my grandparents are heartbroken, and my sister has completely shut me out. She's been texting me, calling me a traitor, saying I ruined her life and blew this out of proportion. She even blocked me on social media. I feel horrible. I didn't want this to blow up like it did, but I also couldn't just keep quiet while she stole from people who've done nothing but love us. My parents say I did the right thing, but I can't stop feeling guilty. So am I the asshole? Should I have just handled it privately with her instead of getting everyone involved?
Tough one. It ain't that damn tough.
No.
That's your grandparents.
It's your grandparents,
You can't steal from
sicko.
your grandparents and expect everything to be cool.
That's nasty behavior because your grandparents are so giving, it sounds like, in this situation. Always taking care of us, keeping cash around the house. I'm sure they've given them a 20 here and there, bought them something nice, put a little bill in the card at Christmas, buy yourself something special. You can't take advantage of that. That's just wrong. Not the a-hole. Don't steal from your grandparents.
Like, come on, man. And listen, everybody's families are different, and sometimes my toxicity flares up. Like, I can't explain to you the type of whooping I give my brother for that type of stuff, or the type of whooping my cousins would give me for that type of stuff. You don't steal from granny and grandpa. You don't do that, especially when, like you said, the lowest of the low. Especially like you said, they give so much.
Yeah. So
much. So yeah. Not the a-hole. Also, if you handle it, if it's it can't be a conversation. One, furniture's got to get moving. But one, if you handle it in a conversation form, like there's no guarantee that sticks.
Right.
And now she's just running around stealing, and you know that she's running around stealing. So when the shit hits the fan, because it will hit the fan, you're in trouble for not saying something. So yeah, no, not the a-hole. Good job.
Not the a-hole.
Good job.
It's like people who scam old people. My dad was just victim of an email scam.
He's not old. How'd they get that young man?
Exactly.
I just saw the commish.
But he didn't even do anything. It was
do?
just one of those people who like fished and got his email attached, so then it sent out an email to a bunch of people, and he has older friends who like clicked on the link, and it just made me so angry. Because he didn't even do anything wrong. And then he had to spend like 10 hours on the phone with his email company trying to get it situated.
His email company?
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
With Gmail?
No, he doesn't have a Gmail.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I don't know what he said.
It's a Comcast email. I blame the Comcast email.
Okay, well, listen, we got to make these things a bit more secure, big tech. While y'all up there rubbing elbows and saluting.
Don't you have some things you could do?
Let's make these things a bit more secure. All right.
Did you see? Never mind.
Did I see?
No. No. Protect thy peace. Protect thy peace. I was trying to figure out this first WTF story. I was trying to figure out if there was an am I the a-hole?
Before we get to WTF.
Yeah.
Netflix has some stuff happening, don't they?
That's right. They sure do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
CJ.
You're welcome.
As I scroll, just give me a hot second. Nope. You know what?
What?
I got it.
You got what? What's Netflix got going on?
The Night Agent.
Ooh.
It's
tell
back.
Me more.
The Night Agent is back for season 2 on January 23rd. One of Netflix's biggest shows ever, created by Sean Ryan of The Shield and SWAT. Season 2 follows Peter as a full-time agent out of the White House basement and into the field where danger is everywhere and trust is in short supply. The Night Agent, only on Netflix, January 23rd. I gotta find out why Peter was in the White House basement. I have questions that need to be answered. Who is this actor?
I also want to know who else is in the White House basement. What else is in the White House basement?
And
why
why
does
is
the
the
White
only
House
option
basement need to be protected?
The basement or a field? Why do we only have 2 options here?
Yeah, it feels like he skipped some steps on his climb up the ladder, going straight from the basement to the field. I'm curious about this guy. This feels Jason
Gabriel
Bourne-ish.
Basso.
Ooh, all right.
Played J.D. Vance in Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh.
It all comes back together.
Oh, okay.
Lucianne Buchanan from Sweet Tooth and the New Legends of Monkey.
I might watch the old Legends of Monkey.
Are you interested?
I don't know if there's an old Legends of Monkey. I'm just saying things, Jessica.
Sounds like there could be.
It could be.
Anyway, I'm intrigued. Season 2 drops January 23rd, only on Netflix. It was a conspiracy. It's low-level FBI agent Peter Sutherland works in the basement of the White House, manning a phone that never rings. So his job is in the basement of the White House until the night it does, propelling him into a conspiracy that leads all the way to the Oval Office. WTF stories. I was looking at this and trying to see if it came from an Am I the A-hole post because it had that kind of an energy, but instead it was just something that took off in the Twitter world and is the constant reminder that Twitter is not real. The social media is not real because certainly this isn't a conversation that is actually being had in the real world. But in case it is, here's the baby shower drama. A woman tweeted, "I got invited to a baby shower, and on the invite it said, please purchase gifts from the baby registry. I'm sorry, if you invite me to a party and then tell me where and how to buy a present, I'm not coming, and you're not getting no present." She continued onward, "I can't believe I have to type this out, but no one owes you a gift because you got pregnant, and certainly no one owes you a specific gift of your choosing because you got pregnant. No one owes you a gift because you choose to get married either. If you have a wedding and are only inviting people with the anticipation of gifts, don't invite them." Okay, here's somebody who makes a fine point at the end. I don't think you should expect gifts at a wedding. They're a nice bonus. But especially if people have to travel for your wedding. A baby shower is literally one of the last things we have left to try to communally help to-be parents figure out how to be as equipped as possible to be parents. Am I wrong? Isn't that just normal societal behavior? Oh no. Don't give me that evil smile.
I don't know why you would ask me this. No, you don't owe them people a certain gift. Get out of here. I understand why we do baby showers, right? Take some of the burden of buying things, not necessarily gifts, but like needed, necessary things for a child. Take some of that burden off of the parents. Cool, I get it, I understand it. Because real kind and real nice. But I'm not obligated to buy you jack shit off of that damn registry. You better be happy with this baby oil and some of these damn Pampers and call it a day. What do I look like off of your registry? Also, why would I buy your little troglodyte, your tummy troglodyte, any damn clothes, booties, anything like that? Why would I do anything? Because they're just gonna outgrow them in a month? 2 months?
Yeah, but they have to have shoes to start the journey.
Come on, man. And other Jacob is right. You people out there with your babies and stuff, you already got pregnant parking spots. What more do you want from us as a society?
Oh my God.
No, we're not doing this.
The whole purpose of having a baby shower is to, one, shower the mother. But I think the real purpose is to get gifts. It is so expensive. You want us to have all these babies, but there are not functional societal fundraising efforts to help with people be able to have better access and affordability to having a baby. And one of the last things we have left.
Social services, I think, is what you were looking for.
Social services. Thank you. Baby showers are not socialism. Baby showers are simply a matter of trying to help parents in whatever way you can. And of course, you shouldn't be obligated, but it should be anytime I'm invited to a baby shower, even if I can't go, I make sure to send a gift.
What gift?
Usually a gift card because I hate picking out gifts.
Okay.
And as somebody who would prefer to get a gift card myself, I would always prefer to get money to buy a gift. That's just how I operate. I think it's a fine notion. There are people out there who feel the real need to like tangibly get something. I was part of a group gift for a baby shower, for my last baby shower that I attended. And we went, like 5 of us went in on a stroller because that's really expensive. And so that was fun. Like something that 100% this new mom needs. You need a stroller, you need diapers, but other things I would rather have the option to choose. Like clothes, I'd rather have the option to choose. Except I get every single one of my friends' babies the Elvis onesie from the Peabody.
Okay.
So they don't get a choice in that. But that's like additional. That's not the gift. It's like a little
necessities.
Like, ta-da. It's like confetti sprinkled on
I'm
top.
into like necessities. So if I'm buying a gift, it is Pampers and diapers for like 5 or 6 month-year-olds or month-olders. I don't know what we call these damn tummy trolls anymore, but it's stuff like that. Right? Like you're getting a bunch of stuff for a newborn. Cool. Hey, have you thought about what it's going to be like when that little turd becomes 8 months, 9 months? You need stuff then too. And so I'll buy.
Turd ball. We don't. Wow.
I turned the mic off for that one because people would be mad. But yes, it is like buy something that the parents can use immediately, like bottles, fine, but I don't think I should be obligated to buy you things from your registry. Like you want a fancy ass crib, you can get this crib from the dollar store. It does just as well. You want this fancy ass stroller, you can get the stroller from Wally World. It does just as well. Otherwise, if you want those types of things, you're probably gonna have to get that on your own, messing around with somebody like me. The chat wants to know, do you remember the date of the infamous parking spot episode?
Oh my God, no. It was season 1.
First like 2 or 3 months. Like we met DeAngelo.
Yeah.
He spent 2 weeks talking about that damn fence. I think about that from time to time also. The defense conversation, and then boom, we hop straight into the
anyone who thinks that
spot.
I was actually mad at DeAngelo today, no. We've been through much worse. We've been through actual debates.
That damn parking.
That parking spot was wild. The other one
of my favorite moments.
HBCU bands versus, I think it was Ohio State's band that he tried to call the best band.
Yeah. That was
and I just sat there.
That was a good one. You sat there and let the black people argue. That's a good ally. Hashtag ally.
Hashtag ally.
No, but again, I don't feel like I'm obligated to buy you things, even on your wedding registry, right? I'm not obligated to buy you things there either. So I feel that person.
Something we didn't get to in the first segment, but was certainly a WTF moment of last night. Mentioned that 4 ranked teams lost to unranked opponents in men's college basketball. One of those was not 19th ranked UConn, which is good for Memphis because it would have been not great to see Missouri lose and UConn lose to 8-win Butler at home. It went to overtime. UConn won 80-78, but the viral moment from this game is Dan Hurley, who had just another Dan Hurley type moment. I would like you to try to read Dan Hurley's lips in this video clip from last night's UConn game against Butler, CJ. Can you tell me what Dan Hurley was saying?
Let me see what Mr. Hurley is doing. What are you doing to me? What is he saying? Oh my gosh. That sure as hell looks like I'm the best coach in the effing sport. Don't you turn your back on me. I'm the best coach in the effing sport.
Yeah. I think that's what it was.
You gotta hey, listen. What Jalen Milrose say? You gotta let a naysayer know sometimes, man. You gotta let them know. Dan Hurley out here. Big old balls in it out there on the court. Just huge. What are you doing? Do you know who I am? You know how many championships I've won the past 2 years? 2 of them.
Do you know who I am?
I'm the best coach in this damn thing we call college basketball right now.
Are we calling Dan Hurley definitively the best coach in college basketball right now?
Call somebody else that. See.
Izzo.
No. Izzo's been coaching way longer and has 1 championship.
Self.
No.
Same.
No.
Patino.
I mean, what's the best thing? He hadn't done anything good since that Italian restaurant. Right? Like that's the last time he's been relevant. Right? Like right there where the chicken parmesan was at, just getting it in.
Yeah.
No.
Self has the most appearances.
I understand that. Are we doing if we're doing these conversations, are we doing them all time? Because then sure, we can
not true.
We can have some of the all-time conversations. right? But if we're doing right now,
But he's currently still a current coach.
He's a current coach, but hasn't had the same type of current success that Hurley has had the past 2 years. So I'm rocking with the dude right now. Just if we're talking about best coaches in the sport right now, not historically speaking, just right now, I'm taking Dan Hurley. Yes.
And he'll tell you.
As well he should.
Best effing coach. Best coach in the effing sport.
In the
I
effing
think
sport.
the placement of the F word is important.
So
in
important.
That sentence.
Where you place the F word matters. And I feel like Bill Burr, I know Bill Burr has a joke about the differences
Oh,
in.
does he?
Yes, the reason why white people get it wrong with their racial talk is because they place the F word in the wrong spot.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Where is it placed?
At the beginning. It's that effing insert race here, right? Whereas with others, with black people in particular, it's that race effing guy. So it flows differently.
Best coach in the effing sport. Best effing coach in the
And that
sport.
would be
That's
the problem. That's way too aggressive.
Yeah.
When the F is first, it's way too aggressive.
Yeah, it's got to come later.
Yes.
It's got to slide in there.
And that's the
I
deal.
agree.
The F at the beginning hits you in the face like a right hook. The F in the middle or towards the end kind of slides in there after the fact.
All right. Last but not least, did you see the crowds at the Atlanta airport yesterday? And the only reason I saw the crowds was because of all the college football media members who were complaining about being stuck in security lines at the Atlanta airport.
It was yesterday.
It was
Yesterday
yesterday
was Tuesday.
following the national championship game. And I knew that they were trying to get people out early because the snowstorm was going to gently affect Atlanta. But Atlanta is one of the largest airports in the country, and especially for connecting flights, with the weather, things were going to be chaotic. So people were trying to get out early. The TSA pre-check line, so the line that is usually the shortest, somebody waited for over 3 hours to get through a security line. I cannot imagine. Chris was like, this single-handedly is going to ruin me forever because I'm going to use this as an opportunity to tell him we have to get to the airport earlier. We have to get to the... He's like, Jessica, there's never really been a 2-hour security line. Proof. I remember.
Had a buddy of mine taking a family member to the airport yesterday, Memphis International. She said they showed up at like 3:30 and the plane left at like 4:10.
Here?
Yeah.
See, but that's the problem. Like 9 out of 10 times in Memphis, you can roll up as your flight starts boarding. Like if your flight is boarding at 3:30, you could park your car at 3:20 and be there with plenty of time. But the one time it messes you up, you'll never forget. Like, what's the?
My mom is big into 4 hours before the flight.
Okay, that's too much. That's
Like,
insane. My mom does the same thing though.
We're just sitting there. There's some anxiety there, like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what if something happens? But lady, what is going to happen? Can we do 3.5? Can we do 3? Like,
I mean, I think 2 is a solid compromise.
Get
But in
there.
the situation yesterday, 2 wouldn't have been enough.
get there 2 hours before, typically speaking, even a longer line, 45 minutes. And so you still have 1:15 to sort of kill at the airport. Yeah, 3 hours standing in line. Also, you got all your luggage with you. You're standing in that line. And I've got this issue now. We hadn't talked about it. Lines like that where I can't just like turn and go. Like, oh, those bother me. The lines at like a TJ Maxx, you know how you get ready to get in line and it's
Yeah.
sort of a maze you have to go through?
Yes.
Those maze lines.
You don't like those?
Oh, I hate them.
Okay.
I hate them. I don't need somebody in front of me and I don't need somebody behind me and I don't need somebody on that side of me or on that side. I don't need to be surrounded on all 4 sides by bodies. I've gotten there
That makes
now.
sense.
I can't do
understand.
it.
I understand that.
At 3 hours in that
Listen,
line.
the greatest
no.
money I ever spent was on TSA Pre. TSA Pre, if you travel more than twice a year and you don't have TSA Pre.
Senior lives in
Get it.
Atlanta. He says he gets to the Atlanta airport 3 hours every single
Well,
time.
at the Atlanta airport, it feels like a special place in hell. Like, I've seen a lot of people say that, like, we're microdosing hell this week. And And I think if you go to the Atlanta airport, you are microdosing hell. You're just giving it a try. You're just figuring out how it feels. Less hot, but same vibe. Like, it's not a fun place to be. And I've had horrible delays, rolling delays in an Atlanta
coming from
airport. Yeah.
Somebody who has terrible luck travel.
Horrible. And guess what? The majority of my issues have been because I've had to fly through Atlanta. That has ruined a lot of trips for me over the last, but I never have to go through security. I've only had to twice because I've gotten stuck there overnight and gotten a hotel room and come back. No, I only did it once because one time I slept on the floor there. There's
It's a nice
nothing
floor.
worse than, no, it is
a nice
not a
floor.
nice floor. It is not a nice floor. All right, it's a Grizzlies game day. I'll be there tonight. FedEx Forum, Grizzlies, Hornets. Hopefully we're doing game-winning highlights tomorrow morning where we swerve and bend that corner.
Whoa.
Whoa. Everyone have a great Wednesday. We'll see you then. Bye.
Are we doing regals this week or are we just going to do compliments?
We're doing